Welcome to Boy Time Podcast. We're gonna get litty time, yeah. Oh, it's your Boy Time Podcast. Coming in with the slam dunk of a theme song.
Hi ho ho, it's me, Mel Brooks, back at it again with a new episode of the Boy Time Podcast. And as always, I'm joined by Babby and Paul.
Yo,
Ooh, it's been a hot week.
it really has.
2 weeks actually.
Oh, that's too many weeks.
I know. We took a week
Too
off.
many.
Oh,
God.
Yeah, we took a week off. Nothing
Can't believe we
really
do that.
happened. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's probably fine because even now I don't have a whole lot of news stuff to cover.
It's a slow year.
So it's a 3-hour pod. Got it.
Yes.
Well, we do have some things to discuss, so we will jump into that. But in terms of like actual news stuff, we maybe have like 4 or 5 things. So, it's fine. But I'm
It's
glad that we
good.
took the week off because needed some time to watch some things so we can talk about it.
Oh,
Oh, it's a little sneak peek of what's to come.
we're going to talk.
On a podcast? No way. So I guess we'll start with gaming. This will be, I guess this is an announcement. I guess Xbox is just straight up stealing Nintendo's bit. Xbox is unveiling what they're calling a Developer Direct coming January 25th. Containing Bethesda and other first-party game announcements. So I guess Xbox wants to start off the year by letting everybody down a little bit.
Heck yes.
That's a joke. Because, for sure Starfield is going to be in there because Bethesda, and unless they do Elder Scrolls 6, which I would be shocked,
Let's do it.
it's probably just Starfield stuff because that comes out in a couple months, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Is that in March?
Oh, it probably would be then, yeah.
Starfield.
Is that a game we're looking forward to or not? I forgot.
I'm reluctantly optimistic towards it. But I have not been following it very much. I just
I
saw
forgot
the
it existed.
there was the trailer for it that was I think last summer that I was like really impressed with. But this is a mainline Bethesda game designed by Todd Howard.
Uh-oh.
It shouldn't be an uh-oh, but at this point it's like it might be an uh-oh.
Maybe, oh.
I'm sure it's gonna have like the procedurally generated talking people. Animations is what I wanted to say,
Oh yeah, that's a Bethesda staple.
and I hate that. That is like one of my least favorite things in all of video games.
That's like the single thing that kept me from that made me kill NPCs in Fallout games, I think.
No,
It's
that's
like
fair.
usually it's like, oh, I don't want to like kill this person. Like they seem like such a actual person in some games, and then Bethesda games they're just like talking without moving their mouth. And
Yeah,
have like lifeless eyes. I'm like, yeah, I could probably kill a civilian or two. In this
I
game.
mean, yeah. There's no moral repercussions for
No.
what is about to happen.
It's obviously a robot.
Yes, and then eventually they just gave
Obviously.
up. And then
Yeah.
in Fallout 76, they were just
They
like, let's just
removed
literally just have
everything.
robots.
There's nobody.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll probably play Starfield when it comes out, just because it's going to be on Game Pass, so why not?
Oh, that's a good point.
Let me see when it is supposed to come out. I think,
Oh, yeah, I'll play it. I got a lot of Game Pass time on my hands.
yeah, there you go. It has it not been announced? On Steam, it just says coming soon. It used to.
Could be any day now.
Okay. Well, I think it's supposed to come out sometime relatively soon. I guess we'll see.
See if
Probably.
Father Google has an answer.
I'm on a Gamer Rant article that was published 2 days ago that the Steam date just changed from 2023 to coming soon, which either means it's
Oh.
getting delayed a year or I don't know. I honestly don't know what that means, but
Let's go, boys. Delays in the gaming industry, they're normal now.
Yes, sir.
well, it was already delayed. It was supposed to come out in October. So,
Multiple delays, it's a normal now.
well, that is also true. It would be crazy though if they delayed it to next year, because, I mean, you don't usually get delays that long unless you're Cyberpunk 2077.
Adam.
Get owned. I mean, they needed more delays if anything. But yeah, they got a developer direct. I was just surprised they were able to call it a direct and not get a cease and desist from Nintendo, because Nintendo tends to be pretty trigger happy with when it comes to cease and desists. But there you go. We won't be talking about it next week because we won't be. I mean, the podcast will be out after the developer direct comes out, but by the time we record the podcast, we won't have seen it. Also, we switched the day a little bit. We're recording on Tuesdays now. Podcasts are going up on Thursdays because we wanted to watch Last of Us. And we will do that until the show's over, maybe. I don't know. For the foreseeable future, this is what the podcast schedule is. Okay. Let's move on to show news, I guess. I think the big thing that happened with show news is that Inside Job Season 2 was canceled.
I think I called that
I think you did.
last week.
You did call it. I don't
I think it was last podcast. I called it multiple times, but I think I talked about it last podcast.
Yes. So I guess technically the second part was just like a second volume of season 1.
Yeah.
And so then the season 2 of that show is canceled. I don't know why. I mean, Netflix
Who knows?
Netflix tends to be pretty trigger happy when it comes to canceling shows. Just in
True that.
general. I think Netflix's whole like motto is that new shows attract new subscribers, and so why would we keep making all these old shows if we can just keep making new ones?
We don't care if people like them.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't matter. It's like, hey, we got a new show from Alex Hirsch, and everybody's like, oh, okay, and it's like, actually, it was just one season though, so
Yeah.
it's
They've
okay.
now axed like one of them like more highly rated shows on their platform after one season. And it was an international show, and then they just like got rid of the the number one adult animation show on their platform.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an oopsie, especially
Yeah.
since they seem to be struggling to make ends meet.
I'm sure Wednesday will do great though.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that one's gonna do
kinda,
fine.
You kind of have to watch that since there's nothing else on the platform.
That's right. Poor Netflix.
They're one-upping Valve, where Valve always gets to number 2 if they can only get to number 1.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because they are number 1, get it?
That's true. That's probably
They're
why.
number 1 in their hearts.
I remember Netflix's old rule was like, we will never make a show past season 3. And now it seems to be like, we will never make a show past season 2.
Incoming Stranger Things season 5.
Incoming.
The kids are 37 years old now.
Well, you gotta keep profiting off the kids and 80s nostalgia.
True.
I mean, what
It's the
else
most
is there?
profitable thing.
Yeah. So, oops. I don't know.
Oopsie.
I liked Volume 1. Volume 2 was okay. But
Yeah,
it
Volume
wasn't-
1 was fantastic, but
Yeah.
yeah, Volume 2 was a little.
it was alright. It wasn't bad, but like, not
It
as
didn't
good
have the
as
Gravity
first
Falls magic where like all of a sudden in like the second season it like got amped up to a point where it's like, whoa,
one. Well, maybe it would have.
maybe it would have.
I don't know.
The second half of season 1 didn't really hit that.
True. Yeah, that is true. I feel like Gravity Falls was pretty consistent. It's just it was like elevated that much more at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah. Wah wah. I don't know what Alex Hirsch is going to be doing now. I heard they might be shipping it around.
I
So-
would imagine so.
Maybe this is going to be a Tuca and Birdie situation where it ends up on a different streaming service now.
I feel like that's gonna have to become the norm for these show makers now, since it's so common for platforms to just randomly delete their series.
Right. Yeah, I was going to. What was I going to watch? There was a Cartoon Network show. It wasn't Smiling Friends. It was Frick. I was going to watch something and then it wasn't there and I was very sad because HBO. Oh, it was Close Enough. I was going to watch Close Enough. I was
Oh,
going to show it to my
yeah.
girlfriend and then it wasn't
No.
there because she loves regular show. So I'm like, dude,
Oh, I was gonna suggest that too.
yeah, it's gone. It's all gone. There's no way to watch it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm glad we watched it.
Yeah,
that
I'd love to watch it again, but I guess I
yeah,
can't do that.
No, can't do it. Watch Velma
No.
instead.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
When are we watching Velma with the boys?
Never.
never.
I've seen. I'm going to label the humor in Velma as the Lily Singh approach to comedy, where it is, white man, you are bad because white man, and that is the entire joke. It is it's very lazy.
It's very
the joke was that
16-year-old white girl
swear
on
now.
Twitter.
Yes. Which
I thought it
is,
was that they swear now.
well, they
Oh,
do
that too.
swear, and they straight up made Shaggy a stoner, which kind of ruins it.
Yeah, it's,
He's not Shaggy though. It's
No, his name is Norval.
it
He's a
was
stoner.
funny
I thought he
because
was
we
like a
weren't.
food critic guy.
I haven't
be
seen
both.
it. There are people I follow on Twitter that's like, why did they make him a stoner? And I was like, I don't
Just
know.
imply it. It's funny.
Yeah, that's funnier. I saw someone say it's way more funny thinking that Shaggy isn't a stoner and he's just like
He's
that.
just like that.
Like that is way more funny than just him actually
Yeah.
just being a stoner.
Yeah.
And I agree. I thought that was.
I heard
funny.
Glenn Howerton did very good as
As Fred.
though.
Well, I
So,
mean, Glenn Howard.
I expect nothing less.
Yeah, love him. But yeah, no, we are not going to watch Velma. Unfortunately, I know.
Unless it involves like a boy night drinking game situation.
Oh, that could be fun. That could be fun. We would have to find one though, because I'm not
Yeah.
watching it ahead of time.
True. I'm sure someone has made multiple.
Yeah, I'm sure someone's done it. All right, and then the only other bit of TV news that we're going to be talking about is something that, frankly, I did not see coming, because I was pretty sure that Mel Brooks was retired. He is 96 years old, but he is coming out with a new TV show. Yes, Mel Brooks, famous for like Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, and of course History of the World, is coming out with History of the World Part 2. Yeah, they're calling it a 4-night event, so I guess technically it's TV. Put it in this category. The the cast is absolutely, it is huge, and I think it's just because like he's I mean, he's maybe one of the most influential comedy writers of our time, at least. I don't know. He's great. I love his stuff. But he's coming out with the Squeakquel. He's going to be in it, which is crazy. Like, he's so old, but I guess he's going to be in it. But the other cast, I'm going to read off, and this is like 3 paragraphs of names, because there are just so many people wanting to be involved in this. But we got Mel Brooks, Wanda Sykes, Nick Kroll, Ike Barinholtz, Zazie Beetz, Quinta Brunson, Danny DeVito, Seth Rogen,
my
Sam
God.
Richardson, Taika Waititi, Tyler James Williams, Pamela Adlon, Dove Cameron, Tim Baltz, Julian Bell, D'Arcy Cameron, Ronnie Chiang, Jake Johnson, David Duchovny, Hannah Einbinder, Jay Ellis, Josh Gad, Kamiko Glenn, Brandon Kyle Goodman, Kumail Nanjiani, Richard Kind, Lauren Lapkus, Jennifer Lewis, Poppy Liu, Joe Lou Truglio, Jason Montezukis, Ken Marino, Jack McBrayer, Zane McLaren, Charles Melton, Brock O'Hearn, Andrew Reynolds, M. Rada, I guess Pete Goodson, I forgot that guy's name. Who's the guy who plays who's the stoner on SNL? Who keeps pulling all these bitches? Pete Davidson. I guess Pete Davidson wasn't good enough for Emrata, so she had to
course not.
go to the arms of a 96-year-old man. Also, like Johnny Knoxville, Sarah Silverman, JB Smoove, and Reggie Watts are going to be in it.
Let's go.
Too many people. Yeah, I don't know. I was surprised. I mean, I thought it was good. I mean, I like Danny DeVito. I like Taika Waititi. I like Mel Brooks. I'm sure it'll be entertaining enough. I should probably watch the first one, because I have not seen History of the World or Young Frankenstein. I've seen Robin Hood Men in Tights, Blazing Saddles, and Spaceballs. I think that's it. But I think those are all great. Robin Hood Men in Tights a little less than, but it's okay. But there you go. That's the big comeback tour for Mel Brooks. Well, I don't think it's a comeback tour. I think it's more of a swan song. Because I doubt he's doing anything after this. But who knows? He might be a Clint Eastwood. Just going to keep making stuff until he dies.
May as well. What else is there to do?
That's a good question. I guess he's
Do retire? Yikes.
he's too old to Scrooge McDuck into a big pool of money.
You're never too old for that, though.
That's true. They hook
In
him
fact,
up.
older the better.
That's true. As long as it isn't coins, because that might be hard on the brittle bones. You got to do paper money if you're old. But there you go. When does that come out? March 6th. There you go. It's on Hulu. Now we got to talk about, there are 2 shows that premiered this last week. Well, technically one of them premiered 2 weeks ago. But we just watched The Last of Us yesterday. Also, the new Bad Batch season came out. I don't, which order should we do this, James?
I've seen one of them. So, do you want to get Star Wars out of the way?
I can get Star Wars out of the way. Bad Batch. I actually really liked the first season of Bad Batch. I know that is not a super popular opinion, but I did enjoy it quite a bit. The second season has been pretty good. The first 2 episodes were like a big heist thing. Pretty cool. Pretty neat. And then the second season, it was cool to see Commander Cody come back. But now he's a bad guy? I mean, he always was a bad guy. He killed Obi-Wan on accident. Well, he didn't kill him, but he tried to. Shot his lizard. But now he's back. Sounds like he's like defecting. I think this whole thing is like the transition from clones to stormtroopers. Like immediately after episode 3. Which is interesting to see. Because that's always like the question. Where, I mean, for like the diehard Star Wars fans, where it's like the clones were pretty much better in every way than the stormtroopers, so why didn't the Empire just keep cloning people, or keep cloning Jango Fett even? But this series is kind of answering that question, which has been pretty interesting, in my opinion. And all the clones that killed all their Jedi people are going AWOL now. Because they're developing consciences? What? How is this?
No.
I don't get it. But yeah, first 3 episodes have been pretty decent. I'll report back when the whole thing's over in like April, probably. I know it's overlapping with the new Mandalorian. By the way, Mandalorian Season 3 did get another trailer. I didn't watch it. I only watched the first trailer for everything. So, I think that's coming out like beginning of March. It might be on, let's see, March 8th, because it's a Wednesday. That would be my guess. And Disney Plus loves Wednesdays. Not as much as Netflix does. Because of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Netflix releases on Wednesday.
All right, let's talk about The Last of Us. Last of Us. Not the game, the show. The premiere was an hour and 20 minutes long.
I was a fan of The Last of Us before the TV show came out.
Oh, is that gonna be a thing now?
I'm sure it will somewhere.
Great.
We just need a fan cam or two to come out, and then, yeah.
Dude, they did this so much better in the game. This is so unreal. I am pissed.
Unreal.
Neil Cuckman killed it again.
I am glad we're in a TV space so we can have a little bit more sane people analyze this media.
True. If it was a movie, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I think it probably could work.
I just think
as
gamers are
well.
the worst human beings when it comes to like just viewing media in general.
True.
So
That
I'm
is
glad there's a
true.
TV
That's us.
audience on this.
That is true. I would say in general that is absolutely true. But yeah, what did you think of the Last of Us premiere?
I thought it was fantastic.
I also thought it was
enjoyed every
fantastic.
second of it.
Yeah.
I think Pedro Pascal is like the absolute best choice for this role.
Yes.
It felt immediately like Joel.
I didn't know if his voice was going to work.
Oh, it works.
Yeah, no, it does. But
Yeah.
like just leading up to it, because like the only time I'd seen him was in Game of Thrones where he was doing like an accent, and then in The Mandalorian when his voice is like, you know, warbly or whatever, because he's got the effect going. So I'm like, I don't know how his voice, because it's like low and kind of southern from Joel, but it really works.
Yeah.
He's perfect for that role.
Yeah, I still think Troy Baker like perfected it, but like this is like so on par with that.
Yeah, Troy Baker doesn't look the part. It's like
He does not.
there's
It
like
would
a
be-
weird disconnect whenever I
There is
see
a
Troy
wild
Baker.
disconnect. Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, he is Joel, but like, yeah, it would not
that's
have
not
worked.
gonna work.
No.
I also thought Sarah was done very well.
Yeah.
I like it more than the game for sure. In the game, it felt like there wasn't really a character to her. She
No.
was just kind of in place as like the intro setup. I feel like the show did a very good job of like actually giving her a personality, so we can connect more with the character. And that'll come into play later in the season for people who haven't played the game.
Yeah. Or should we deal with like spoilers? Because the
I
game
don't
has been
know.
out for a really
I
long
don't
time.
know. Spoilers for the Last of Us franchise.
Yeah.
I feel
Just
like
in
most
case.
people know what's going on, but
Yeah.
I don't, but I probably won't ever. So go ahead.
yeah. I mean, but I think everything was done very well. I thought the pacing was very good. That they took their time, but they didn't take too long. I felt like the stretching out the intro bit a little bit longer, like really helped with that with the first episode. It reminded me of a lot of like the Watchmen show, with just like an insanely striking opening and then getting into like the weeds. I
True.
think that's a good way to.
Yeah, that
intro
is
it.
a good comparison. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't too sure about Bella Ramsey like at first, but like by the end of the episode, I'm like, yeah, she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
I had to hear the delivery from her mouth before I could be like, yeah,
Right.
there you go.
Yes, I was the same way. I was what I like about, I think, just the casting in general for this show is that like nobody, I mean, there are like popular people in it, but like none of them are like movie stars or like beautiful people, and I mean that in the best possible way. Where like you get like I'm gonna use The Northman as a comparison. Something that I thought like, hey, there's potential, but then it had Nicole Kidman in it, and she was playing like slave to like a Viking lord, and she's like all plastic surgeryed up, and she has all her makeup on, and like I cannot buy you as like whatever you're playing. Like if you're playing like a slave or a captured queen, sorry, can't buy that. Or like anything Anya Taylor-Joy is in, I cannot buy her as a real person. She has to be in the Last Night in Soho thing where she's like a Barbie doll. It's like that's what I really love about all these people is that I don't want to say they're all like gross because
They look like real people.
they look like real people.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason I was saying they're gross is because literally like the first time we see Tess, like she's just beat up and like she was just like tortured. And it's like, yes, please. I don't want like supermodels running around in this zombie world. I don't want a World War Z situation, okay? Give me real people. And that's what I love about The Last of Us, the game, is that everybody feels like a real person, and that's why I mean, like, The Last of Us it probably is the best written game of all time. Just because I don't think a lot of games focus on story as hard as The Last of Us did. But that's really been the highlight of the show too, is that none of these feel like fake people. And there are moments where like they copy lines like straight from the game, and that was honestly the only times I was taken out. But as someone, if you have not played the game and you're just watching the show, that's not going to take you out at all.
I mean, they're good lines, so might as
Yeah.
well use them.
Yeah. And there were only like a couple moments I could think
Yeah,
of.
there were a couple where I'm like, oh, I remember that.
He said killing time in the game.
What?
What? And like the transition was exactly the same, where like he's sleeping
Yeah.
and then they just cut to like the same shot, but it's darker outside.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
It was weird, like, especially seeing Marlene, because the voice actor for Marlene is the actual actor.
Right.
So that was trippy because she looks exactly like Marlene from the game and is the same person.
Yes. Yeah, that was a little trippy. That was also something that happened in The Mandalorian, is they brought someone from like the Clone Wars in and had her voice actor come in, and it was like so trippy. I mean, I like it when they do that though. Like, especially if they look the part. Like, obviously you can't get Ashley Johnson to come in and be Ellie.
That would be not, well, yeah.
No, they would have to do like some 11
two?
in season 4 thing to like make her a small person digitally.
Digitally.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm still not like 100% sure on Bella Ramsey, but she was like barely in this episode.
Yeah, I think as we go further, I don't know. I felt the sass already, which
the sass is
something
there.
that, like, yeah, I had to see that because her face just looks like way too innocent for the role.
True.
But I'm sure as the series goes on, we'll get more accustomed to it.
Yeah.
You kind of have to unlearn like the picture in our head. It's like when you read a book and then watch a movie adaptation.
That's what's a little tough, is because like Joel's perfect and Pedro Pascal like looks exactly like Joel does.
Yeah.
So it's like there's that little bit of disconnect when it comes to Ellie, but like
Even Tess looks pretty close.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think it kind of helps too that like they just released the game, and I wonder if they like modeled some of those new models off of the TV show, because like now when I think of Tess, I think of like the trailer thing where like they were showing off like the facial animations and it was like a cutscene with Tess, and that kind of looks like that actress. So I don't know, maybe, but yeah, very good. Like, I mean, all of the reviews were coming out ahead of it saying like, oh, the video game adaptation curse is lifted. I was like, okay, I'll see it to believe it.
I believe it.
I believe it. I think it's very good. I gotta say, the opening was fantastic. The freaking news thing from the 60s. That was like, as we were watching it, I'm like, was this in the game? Because this is like really...
I think the game started with like that radio bit or something while it was like showing like the fungus.
Oh, okay.
But it didn't specifically like say what it said in the show. The show did it better, I think.
Yeah. No, like that was like like honestly I haven't been able to stop thinking about it, and maybe that's how it should be. But yeah, like the whole thing is that like fungus, there are like parasitic funguses that exist in our in like real life, and they infect insects and whatever. But there's not a reason for fungus to evolve to infect like warm-blooded creatures, but maybe if the world got a little hotter, maybe there would be. And then I was like, oh shit, oh no.
Dun, dun.
And then it cut to like 40 years later. I'm like, oh frick, oh no, oh,
I don't know if they ever explicitly said the year in the game either. That was new, I think.
I think the only reason they had the year was because they wanted it to be 20 years later, 2023, the year that the show came out.
Yeah.
I mean, I always assumed that like the year of the infection was like around when the game came out.
That's what I thought.
Because I'm pretty sure there's like flat screen TVs in Joel's house, or just in general. Like I don't. Do they all
what I
have
remember.
box
It's
TVs?
been a long time. I don't remember. Oh, there might have been a box TV.
I'm thinking of like just like the environment, because like
Yeah.
thinking about Seattle. Did they have any flat screen TVs in Seattle? I don't remember.
I thought Seattle looked kind of newer.
Yeah. I don't know. I
don't
don't know when it happened.
I like the pacing of it no matter what though. I feel like it still works without like changing much at all.
No, yeah.
But I mean, it did a very good job. Like I feel like the Walking Dead premiere was like very close to this in terms of quality. I think they're pretty neck and neck. Just like I love the beginning of like whatever the apocalypse is or whatever. Like whenever it just like clicks happening, those are like always like the best episodes for zombie shows. Like that first beginning, because that like sets up the whole series.
Yeah.
But I mean, The Walking Dead does it slower. It's more detailed. It's a little bit more quirky. But this does that in like 45 minutes and then gets on to like the main point of the show pretty well. So you definitely got flashbacks to that in a good way, where it's like they really know how to like accurately and concisely like get the action in for this. I actually liked the plane crash adaptation instead of like them getting run into. I felt like that was a little bit more like fitting for the moment.
Yeah. Well, where are they from? Are they from like Houston?
I think it was Austin, Texas.
Austin?
I think so.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of major airports. Not that that matters at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I thought that was great. They've made a change to zombies, because I don't think, well, no, they are fast zombies.
They are. That was another thing that was weird, because like Walking Dead, they are slow.
Yeah.
And they continue to get slower and more decayed. This show is not really like that. So
I mean, yeah, I'm thinking of like in the game, I don't think they're like as chaotic as they are in the show.
no.
This is like Train to Busan, like crazy zombies, which I am all
We're
for.
not like World War Z level, but
No, no, they aren't like climbing on each other and
No.
organizing, but like, yeah, no, it is. I am all for it. And when the old lady was a zombie, oh boy, that was so good. Man, what was it? It was like Ellie was like looking at the DVDs, and then you just see like the old lady like start spazzing out. Ah, so good. Yeah, I highly recommend the show. I don't think you don't have to play the game. This is I think it's just a good standalone thing. Will they adapt season 2 or the second one?
I hope so.
I think that would be great. I think it would honestly fix some of the stuff.
Yeah, I think it would fix the pacing issue, which is the literally only issue I had with that game.
Yes.
Other than that, it's a perfect masterpiece. But like, yeah, I feel like you can even do it more justice, like in a TV show adaptation, just because you don't have to physically play the game.
Yeah, that was
Like
the issue.
you could split screen like 2 different routes at the same time in the same episode instead of having to like do this half on and then just like switch to like a completely different character.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like stuff that has done that format before, or the same format as the game, and the only thing I can think of is Tenet. Is that like half of the movie is one thing and then half of the movie is like the same thing, but like you're getting a different perspective. So there's like, I think there's honestly potential if you want to just like do it in the same way. But it's so frustrating when you play the Last of Us 2 and you get to that like last scene as Ellie as you transition into playing Abby's part of the game. And it's just like, I just want to
It's like on a
get
cliffhanger
there.
too. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
If they didn't put it on a cliffhanger, it'd be so much easier.
Right. And so like even in second playthroughs of Last of Us 2 that I've done, it's still like, okay, yeah, all this Abby stuff is happening, but like I want to get back there. So it's like I'm and that's the thing that sucks, is that the Abby stuff's actually like pretty good. Like the writing in it's like pretty decent, the characters are great. It's just the whole time I'm like,
You wanna
okay,
get back.
okay, yeah. But I don't know. There's potential. There is potential. We'll see. I'm in. This Last of Us show's pretty g-dang good so far. Hope they don't drop the bag, but
I don't expect it.
literally everyone is saying that it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Who has seen the whole thing?
It's sticking straight to the source material for the most part, and Neil Druckmann is there, so I have
Yes.
faith that it'll be pretty true to what we want.
Also, I want to address the whole frickin' people are upset about the level of violence in the show.
That's too low or too high?
That it is too low.
Oh, well, we haven't even got to the points yet.
I know, but like it is like here's the thing is that people are upset and then those episodes haven't even come out. But it is like in like reviews of the show they have said that like it is not as violent as the game is. But obviously there's not going to be as many fights or encounters as there is in the game because it's a game and you kind of have to have something to do. So it makes sense. Also, if it's just like an over-the-top gore fest, then that's how you're going to get like a Mortal Kombat movie
Right.
or something. And all those suck.
Or even The Walking Dead, where they like make character deaths unrealistic because of how brutal they try to make it.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Robert De Niro, I think, for The Walking Dead, so like the gore was like insanely realistic. But like I feel like I don't need this for this show. Like I feel like it's fine where it's at. There's gonna be moments where the story gets so intense where you're not even gonna be focusing on the violence part of it. It's gonna be pure tension that's gonna drive it forward, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. That's what I look for in horror movies, so I'd imagine it'd be good here. I do hope they like take certain gameplay segments and really expand upon it and create little storylines. Like this, like when you have to go into the basement of a building to turn a generator on. Like I'd love to see scenes of that because that is terrifying in a video game.
Yes.
I'd love to see it in the show.
Yeah, like in the school, which we're getting
Yes.
close to if we're getting
yeah, the
the
school
frickin'
part, too.
bill.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see Nick Offerman as Bill too. I feel like
Yes.
that's a perfect guest.
I think so too. I'm excited. I was a little sad when they brought up Bill, and then they were like Bill and Frank, and I'm like, oh no. I know what happens to Frank.
I'm ready to get hurt again.
Same with like Sam and his little brother.
Oh yeah.
Not ready for that
And
either.
the cannibal people.
I'm not ready for anything.
I'm not ready for any of this, but I'm excited.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be rough.
Yes.
Which is kind of the Last of Us bread and butter. Just, ugh.
So there's no need for violence like on screen when you're gonna be hurting after every episode.
That is true. Yeah, I just the thing is that I think it's from gamers, and you know that these are the same like bitches that complained when like there's that moment in The Last of Us 2 where you're killing that chick in like the basement and everything's red, and then you have to like keep hitting the attack button. And like people complain about that as like you have no agency, like if you the player should have been given the choice to save her, and it's like that's not the point. That is not the point.
Game, brother. This is not a choose your own adventure
No.
game. It's quite the opposite. This is a straight storyline driven game.
Yes. It has a thing to say, so let it say it.
People weren't listening though.
No, people were not listening. I wonder if people will come around after the show's out and then they're like, yo, it's cool to like Last of Us again. But
I mean, I think there'll be more fans, so those nerds will just kind of get pushed to the background a little bit more.
Good. That is what they deserve.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we'll be going over every episode every week, but I just thought we would switch the podcast over a little bit just in case something crazy happened, then we can talk about it on the podcast right after.
I feel like there's more discussion since this is an adaptation that we're both very familiar with. So
true. And I'm getting ready to replay the first one as we squeak.
Yeah, I ordered my new PC. I want to get part 1 on PC whenever is that out already?
The PC port, I think that comes out in February.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
I need to play God of War though once I get my new computer.
Yes, please.
I've been waiting to play all the newer games.
Last of Us Part 1 comes out on March 3rd.
Okay.
I got it for Christmas, so I'm finishing up Mad Max and getting all the achievements because I'm a stupid
You gotta do
baby idiot.
Yeah.
And one of them is literally impossible to get, so I don't know why I'm doing this and withholding playing Part 1.
But you
Because
have to. You're an achievement man.
it's impossible because one of them it requires like network connection and they shut down the Mad Max servers in 2020. So like it's
Probably some way to get it.
I would have to like download a save file. So
There you go.
this is going to show how stupid and dedicated I am to this thing that doesn't matter at all. So what I'm doing is I'm getting all of the achievements that I can get feasibly, and then I'm going to download a save file that's going to give me the last one. But I don't want to do that now because then it's going to give me all the achievements that I didn't actually earn, and I don't want to cheat like that. So I'm doing this stupid thing where I'm actually being legitimate and then cheating only when I absolutely have to, instead of doing something that I'm really excited to play again. So like I don't know what my issue is.
The true achievement hunting mentality. I know it.
Yeah, that's me.
That's why I don't finish most of my games.
Me too.
I finish all of my games 100%. That's like when I want to start something, it's like, are you ready to embark on something that's probably going to take you like a month straight? Like, yeah, probably.
I usually complete my games about 40% of the way and then stop playing them for about 3 months before I go back.
That's fair. When did you do your Last of Us? Like where you played it over and over again?
That was like summer of like I just moved to Iowa. We didn't have internet for a while.
Oh, okay.
And I just got a PS4 with the remastered Last of Us. I think I played it like three times that summer.
Like in a row?
Not in a row, but just like throughout it.
Oh, okay.
But I played it on like harder and harder difficulty.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping that the achievements, there isn't an achievement for like beat it on the hardest difficulty.
I think there is, or there used to be.
I don't know if there is in the new one.
Yeah.
If there is, it's going, because I think there's a permadeath mode. And if you have to beat it on the permadeath mode, that ain't happening.
Yeah,
Chief.
I never did a permadeath mode.
Yeah. I don't,
I believe in you.
That would suck.
I could try. They would have to make all the cutscenes skippable, because I'm not. There's no way I'm sitting through all those cutscenes again. Even though they're all great, but you know what I mean. All right, we talked about Last of Us. We talked about Bad Batch. Yeah, let's move into movie territory. We watched Puss in Boots 2. We're gonna talk about that, but before that, we got a trailer for Ari Aster's new movie, Beau is Afraid. It's weird. I don't know what to think about it. I've seen people get really excited. A lot of Ari Aster fans are very excited for this. And I'm going to make a comparison that might be unpopular, but it seems like this is Ari Aster's Babylon. And I don't know how to feel about that. Because like it seems like a little too overproduced, if that makes any sense. Where like he made Hereditary, he made Midsummer, and now he's like, I'm gonna ball out and then just like cash in all this stuff, make the biggest movie. Like I'm pretty sure this is A24's most expensive movie.
James Cameron.
It's the James Cameron effect. And I'm not saying it looks bad. I'm just saying I don't know what I'm looking at, and I'm a little bit concerned. But I will happily be proven wrong. I love Joaquin Phoenix. I've absolutely loved everything that Ari Aster has done up until this point. I will be watching it probably opening weekend when it comes out in April. But I'm throwing it out there now that like I'm a little bit worried. But it's probably okay. It doesn't seem like a horror movie or anything like that. I don't know exactly what it is. It almost kind of looked like a, I don't want to say like a buddy comedy, there was like moments of like I don't want to say like there's moments of levity because there's moments of levity in literally every single movie ever. Well, I don't want to say that, but most movies I would say. So I was like, oh, I don't know. Hereditary is so grounded and gross and epic. So I kind of want that. And Midsummer is too, to an extent. There isn't a whole lot of like supernatural stuff. And well, I don't want to say that because Hereditary exists, but like I would say like the majority of all of his movies are pretty grounded. Even in Midsummer, which is Weewo stuff, but whatever. We'll get there. What did you think about the trailer? Post it in the comments down below. Post your favorite Bollywood movie in the comments down below. Speaking of Bollywood, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, the sixth movie in the Shrek franchise. What did you think of Puss in Boots 2?
I thought it was fantastic.
I also thought it was fantastic. I have been urging everyone I know to see this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, what'd you like about it, huh?
The animation was gorgeous. First off, I feel like it was Spider-Verse-y, but it wasn't too Spider-Verse-y. It was very stylized. Like it's kind of crazy to look at like the still of like what he looked like in the old Shrek movies, and then like what they did with him in this.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of like more anime influence and entering animation now. Like they're more free and like their stretch and pull animations. It adds like so much to it. But even just like the opening of the movie is just fantastic. Like
Yeah.
get right in there. Storyline's fantastic. Antagonist is really fantastic.
The wolf is so freaking scary.
Yeah, I'm surprised that
designed
movie got
this?
a PG rating. Like, I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like, why did they make him this horrifying? There are kids here.
I don't know. Yeah, and it's crazy good. I don't really know how to describe it because like I went in with the lowest of expectations. I had heard it was good, but I'm like, eh. I didn't really like the first Puss in Boots movie. I honestly don't remember anything about it except the egg guy kind of looks funny. So it'll probably be fine. It looks cool, and then I went in and I was absolutely blown away by everything. I thought that the action scenes were all animated beautifully. Everything felt so kinetic, and I really loved the frickin' what's the pie guy's name?
Jack Horner, I think.
Jack Horner. That's it.
John Mulaney.
John. I didn't know it was John Mulaney. I was pleasantly surprised when his name showed up. Yeah. But I think when I was talking to my parents about it, because they were interested, I was like, "This is the movie I wish I had when I was a kid." Like,
True.
and
I had the
that
SpongeBob movie, so it was good. That movie's a masterpiece.
I think just the moral of it was so good, and I loved and this is I guess slight spoiler, but like this isn't like a big story thing, but there's like a moment where like he has a panic attack, and it's just like really kind of straight up about it, and it isn't treated as like a joke. It's just like a thing that happens, and then they talk about it, and then they move on. And as someone who is anxious all of the time, I would have loved to have seen that representation as a kid to see like, oh, yo, this happens to other people and it isn't just the end of the world happening all of the time. Wow, this is great. Yeah, it would have been great to have that. And that was something like we saw it. It wasn't like super late. I think it was like a 5:30 showing.
It was like 5:30.
And there was like a bunch of kids there, and I was just like, this is like great. Like I love Usually, like, I don't complain about kids being in animated movies because whatever, it's for them. I'm just a man baby who loves animated movies. But this one, I was like, this is like great. I had that feeling when there were kids in my showing of Del Toro's Pinocchio. I'm like, this is like, their parents could have taken them to see like the live action Pinocchio, and they might have, but it's like, this is such a better thing to take your kids to, you know? Like, they're actually getting something out of this instead of just having it be colorful lights and minions, and like that's my issue with a lot of like Illumination stuff, or even some like Dark Age DreamWorks stuff, which I don't think that's an official title, but that's what I'm calling it. I'm gonna call the Dark Ages.
Post Shrek.
I'm gonna call the Dark Ages post Kung Fu Panda 3 and before the bad guys. That's going to be my indicator thing. That's the time frame. We got Boss Baby, we got Trolls.
Let's go.
We got there was something else. Croods? It's a Croods movie in
Oh
there.
yeah, the Croods. Yeah.
And it's just like, that's, there's nothing. It's nothing. There's no substance to any of these movies. And like literally every Illumination movie, except for the first Despicable Me movie, is nothing too. It's all just stupid shit to distract your kids for 2 hours while you...
It's the TikTok trend where there's like an ASMR video playing in one corner and like a Subway Surfer gameplay in another corner. And then like some dude reviewing like a random video game in another corner. It's just like useless like imagery popping at you.
I hate that. But yeah, I mean, like, this is great. And like beyond that, like the moral of kind of just like learning to trust people again after trauma is like, this is like from a Shrek movie. Granted, the first two Shrek movies have pretty good morals too, but like, what the hell? I was not expecting this from Puss in Boots 2. So yeah, I think it's great for everybody. Everybody should see this movie. It's fantastic. I think it's my favorite animated movie since Spider-Verse. I put a little asterisk in there because I do think that, you know, Del Toro's Pinocchio it's inching out just a little bit over this. And technically that's stop motion animation, so I don't know. My favorite computer animated movies since Spider-Verse, I guess I can say, technically.
Big animation studio.
Big animation studio. Honestly, the fact that Del Toro's Pinocchio even exists is kind of a miracle. So, the fact that there's no major studio and it's just Del Toro just genuinely had a passion project and worked on it for 12 years. It's in a different league. But this is also like fantastic. I loved it so much. I think I'm going to get my girlfriend to go see it because I want to see it again. So.
Real. Yeah, I mean, this felt like a passion project too. Like,
yeah,
there was no reason for them to go this hard on this movie. Like the
True.
first Puss in Boots, not many people remember at all.
No.
But I mean, it looks like they're setting up new Shrek movies. So
yeah,
if
there's
they're
definitely a
animated by
lead
the
in.
same people. Like, please just get the same people to do it. Then I'm so down.
I believe, yeah, Joel Crawford, who directed this, Puss in Boots, he was like, yeah, I kind of want to have this be like my kind of springboard to like start working on Shrek 5.
Give it to him.
Give it to him, please. He's honestly the only person I trust right now at DreamWorks. Please.
I mean, the ticket sales are pretty good, so they can't take that angle from it.
True.
Hopefully they can at least just like be like, yeah, go for it.
I mean, what does DreamWorks have to lose at this point?
Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, please let
Go
this
watch
man. Please watch it, and DreamWorks, please give this man Shrek. And also change your goddamn watermark or the lead-in thing, the studio splash thing. It is way too long. I thought that was just a little bit thing that they posted on Twitter that was like, look at this. It's a nice little thing of all of the movies we've made. It needs to be like 2 seconds max, okay?
Yeah, do you like the Marvel thing where they have like they show a lot, but it's like 15,
Yeah.
45 or whatever.
Cut it. Cut it more.
Just show Shrek and Kung Fu Panda and then end it.
Honestly.
Cut the other stuff out. That's all people remember.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? And this is a little off topic, but I would say that DreamWorks had one of the most, like, I don't want to say like sophisticated, but it was like, that's a damn good like studio thing to pop up.
Yes.
It isn't as gaudy as like the Disney thing where you're flying through the magic castle and it's playing the Pinocchio song. And it's like, oh wow, oh we've done so much. Oh,
We
we're
own
celebrating
every IP
100 years.
possible.
It's like, yeah, get that out of there. It's just like for a big studio like that, yeah, come on. The freaking the water and then the bobber hitting it, ooh, very very
DreamWorks
minimal.
knows what they are.
Yes, and that is, well, originally it was just ripping off Disney because
Yes.
Jeremy Katzenberg is a petty bitch. Yeah, I mean, like, I watched a video about The Bug's Life the other day, and it was going into like the drama because Katzenberg used to work at Disney, and then when they didn't make him the CEO of Disney, he left and then just kind of like burned his contacts. So like he had a lunch with John Lasseter, and then John Lasseter's like, because they were friends, he was like, "Yeah, I'm working on this like bug movie. It's gonna be kind of like Seven Samurai or whatever, but that's kind of my thing." And then Katzenberg just like turns around and like hires like a bunch of studio to like make ants, and is like, "Yo, I'm gonna pay you a bunch of money if we can get this movie out before A Bug's Life." He's very chaotic. I don't think he works there anymore, because this was like early days DreamWorks, but now it's like, yeah, I don't know. DreamWorks is in a weird place. But I heard The Bad Guys was
They look
good.
promising though.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see a resurgence this decade. Hopefully.
I hope so. I really hope so. Sony Pictures also on an upswing.
Yes.
Because, I mean, the glow up from Emoji Movie to Spider-Verse is probably the biggest turnaround I've ever seen
Literally
in a
went from a
studio.
0 to a 10.
And then, like, right after that, they did Mitchell's versus the Machines. Another fantastic movie. Not as good as Spider-Verse, but it's very good. And it's done by Chris Miller and Phil Lords. Like, wait, come on. And now they're doing the Spider-Verse 2, which hopefully is going to be good. So,
I wouldn't see why it wouldn't be.
yeah. In an age where I would say Disney's kind of floundering when it comes to animated movies,
Good.
Pixar has its moments, but is not nearly as consistent as it once was. I'm glad that the third studios, or like the outside of Disney studios, are still kind of pumping out good stuff. Because it was not that way for a very long time. If you wanted to see a good animated movie, then you would just have to hope and pray that Coco was good. Because nothing else was was going on. Oh, you want to see Despicable Me 3? Or Sing?
I feel like once like touchscreen cell phones started happening, like animation just fell out the window. I don't know
Yes.
why I correlate it with that, but like 2012 mobile apps started becoming animated movies. It was bad.
That's true. Yeah. We
I
did
mean,
get
there was,
two
there was
Angry
more
Boo.
there was more ways to capitalize, so you had
Yeah.
more screens now, so they were just pumping those things out. But
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to say we're in a golden age of animation just because it seems like Netflix and Warner Brothers just hate animation.
the art's still good though. So
The art is great. I would say like we are in a golden age of animation if the studios would cooperate,
yes,
which is weird.
which is probably not going to happen. So.
No. Because we're definitely in a golden age of TV. If we're talking about like prestige TV, I would say that there has not been a better time for TV to be around than right now. And I would also say that for animated things, but I think there's still that stigma that like animation is just for kids. When it is not. And I love that. That's one of the things I love about Del Toro, and I don't mean to keep bringing him up, but he has just been just this huge champion for animation being not just for kids, but it being a legitimate art medium. And that's why I love the guy. He's great. He seems to just genuinely love making art. And he doesn't care about the consumerist stuff, which is what a lot of directors fall into.
They kind of have to for big budget studios to get them okay.
Yeah.
You have to sacrifice like a large part of your art when you work for Disney or something, I feel.
Yeah.
Because at some point you need to be merchandisable and like, oh, could we make a sequel even though it obviously doesn't need one? Can we make this into 3 Disney Plus spin-offs, please?
Yeah. Well, especially when you're making like a Marvel. I would say
Yes.
Marvel especially, because Star Wars, yes, but I think Star Wars is in a weird place right now where it's like they aren't making movies, they're just making TV shows. And I mean, yes, they are kind of building that a little bit, but Marvel's like hot right now when it comes to like, they just have been pumping out so much stuff of like crazy amounts of differing qualities. And that's why it's like I love like Barry Jenkins and stuff. Like Moonlight and Beale Street are 2 fantastic movies, but he just got caught up in the Disney thing and now he's making the Lion King 2. The live action Lion King 2. It's like, bruh, why? I don't get that at all. And that's why it's kind of like, oh, Taika Waititi was making these great artsy movies, and now he's in the Marvel thing, and now he's making a Star Wars movie. And it's like, come on, dude. Get back to making quirky comedies, because you're great at that. Which is why I love, like, Del Toro has not done that, really. Like, he made Nightmare Alley, which is just a spooky movie. I don't know how any studio approved that. And then the back-to-back to Pinocchio, he's crazy. And then he made a movie where a lady falls in love with a fish.
Oh boy.
Doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen, not in real life.
It's only happened to me a couple times.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, the big fish incident.
The fish phase.
Yeah, the fish
Everybody
phase.
has a fish phase.
It wasn't just me.
It wasn't just me, I swear.
So yeah, there we go. A little bit off topic, but I don't know. Passionate about entertainment. So
There's
that's
nothing else to look forward to in this bleak world.
Not
so why
really.
not consume media?
yeah. There you go. That's what Father John Misty would say.
Yeah.
Well, no, he probably wouldn't. He would not say consume media.
No, even.
Yeah. That's about it. That's all I have to say. I do have I put it in miscellaneous. Technically it's music, but Warner Brothers is looking to sell its music library. They are that down bad.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's why you don't put your hopes on Black Adam. And don't worry, darling.
Yeah.
You don't put your entire company on the line of Black Adam. What are you doing?
If you ever need an example of why CEOs are no more important than the average worker, look at Warner Brothers.
Look at Zavlov.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently their music library is worth over $1 billion, and they are looking to sell because they are out of money, which is crazy. The day where Warner Brothers ran out of money, if you asked me like 10 years ago, I would have laughed in your face. But here we are. So,
I'll have to get my wallet out.
They'll get a bank bailout of the
See what I can
oh
grab.
yeah, they're too big to fail.
Yeah, no, they're in the too big to fail category.
Yeah.
It is funny to watch them struggle though, even though it does take away a lot of good things.
Yeah, I would say that, but also like being on like artist Twitter, I'm seeing like a bunch of people who have worked on things for Warner Brothers who is just gone. It's gone. Like they've like nuked their library of anything that these people have worked like for years on. Even like Batgirl, which is a movie I could not care like less about. I still think like the movie was 100% done. They just shelved it because they didn't want to pay marketing costs. It's like, just release the movie. Like, you don't do any marketing anyways. Whatever. So there you go. If anyone has $1 billion, reach out to David Zavalov.
I'm already on it.
If you have $1 billion and are interested in acquiring
I'd
the
rather have
rights to
less people with
something,
billions of dollars. Actually, I'd rather have no people with $1 billion.
well, that is true. I want to see what they have in their music library. If they have anything good. If they have like Billy Idol or something.
Billy Idol. I think Warner Brothers has Prince's catalog.
Oh, do they?
And yeah, and the Flaming Lips.
Oh.
They have a lot of huge things.
Oh, well.
I feel like Prince's catalog alone is worth like 500 mil.
Oh, for sure. If it's Prince, yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, okay. Well, Warner is. Oh, wait, is it technically? Do they own
Warner
Universal?
has subsections too. Yeah.
So would that be like UMG?
Yeah, I think so.
What? Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to
They're
music labels,
desperate.
there's only 2 or 3 companies, and then everything's a subset of those companies usually.
Yeah. I want to see if UMG is owned by Warner Brothers, because if so, that's like a big.
I think like RCA or Epic or something is also Warner Brothers.
What the hell? This is too much.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. Someone get your check ready.
Haha.
Oh wait, never mind. It is okay. UMG is one of the big 3 record labels, along with Sony Music and Warner Music Group. But it is one of the big 3.
Those 3, yes. That's still like an insane amount of labels.
Yes.
And catalog.
Yeah. Yeesh. Okay. Well, there we go. We can transition into more music news then.
True.
Yeah.
This is maybe the slowest start of a year in a long time.
I feel like years are always like this.
Well, last year started off hot. We had The Weeknd. We had
true.
Earl Sweatshirt. We had a lot of good stuff in January last year.
That's true.
This year there is absolutely nothing.
It's
Cemetery
January.
dropped an album, I think.
What?
So that's cool. I haven't listened to it yet because I feel like I need to be on camera to listen to that. Like I want to at least get like some satisfaction, you know. But I mean, I'm actually kind of coming around on Cemetery's music in general. I like it. It's fun. I don't care anymore.
I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'm joining the grave train.
Yes, sir.
Butcher
Haunted
House?
Mound. We love Haunted Mound. Yeah, Butcher House.
Okay.
We don't dial 911. Yeah, this is gonna be a good album. I might listen to that eventually. I made a prediction last year that Boy Genius was going to drop an album this year. I think that is 100% confirmed at this point. I expect an announcement in the next 2 weeks. I'll give them 2 weeks.
So what are they at, Coachella?
They're at some music festival. I forgot.
Frank Ocean is at Coachella.
Yeah, Frank Ocean's at Coachella in April, and he's been teasing, or he put like a note in a poster that he's been giving away, or not giving away, but like including with some of, I don't know if it was the
He re-released Blonde.
reissue or if it was
There was also
other
like
thing on
some
the
merch
store.
stuff. Like, did you see that all of it was like Kendall Roy stuff from Succession?
Yes.
Like, what was
it
the deal with
very
that?
Strange. I don't know. But yeah, I think Boy Genius is going to announce in a week or two. There's been leaked pictures of the actual record, so I think it's confirmed at this point, 100%.
Okay.
So
Well, that is a week 1 reaction for these old
absolutely,
boys.
I think there's like 13 songs, so we're not getting a 20-minute album. So
Oh boy, yeah, that'll be good.
definitely hyped for that. What else do we have? I feel like it has just been like dead when it comes to news on music stuff. I think JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown are. I think he posted that he's in the final mixing stage of that. So that'll be coming, I would assume, in the first half of this year. Definitely interested in that. I think that's going to be chaotic and fun. I think Logic announced another album.
Oh, awesome.
He's was retired, is retired. I don't know. Whatever that comes out in February. So
He's retired in the same way Miyazaki from the Ghibli is retired.
yes,
He keeps coming back. For some
but his post retirement album seemed to be better than his regular album. So I guess I'll take it.
Okay. That's fair.
Gorillaz comes out that same day.
Cracker Island.
Cracker Island.
Is
Great
that the album
title.
or is that just the...
No, that's the album title.
Oh, okay,
That's
great.
I think the new Swans album I think is confirmed for June at this point. Michael Gira posted a clip on Instagram. That's the first we've ever heard of the like actual built out band sound of it. Usually he writes everything acoustic and then does acoustic shows, but now he's in the process of actually finalizing that album. It sounds a big band. It sounds like the main trilogy. He was sampling like a baby crying, so I know this is going to be a wild ride. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I think Metallica's releasing a new album too. They're still alive.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of their last records have not been good. So
Well, yeah, they're like 40 years older than their prime.
yeah, they had like an insane 4 album run, and then well, I'll include 5 albums in there, and then just fell off so hard.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but I mean, whatever. What are you gonna do? I think Lana Del Rey is releasing in March as well. I really, I'm excited to listen to Lana Del Rey on the show. One, because like I feel like her aesthetic is just absolutely garbage, so I need to hear some music to back this up. I hate all of her album covers besides NFR. I
This
feel like
is
all her
true.
titles are incredibly tacky. She just gives me like the annoying horse girl vibes. So I do need to be proven wrong when it comes to Lana Del Rey. So
We were so close.
we were very close to getting one.
It was like, I thought we were going to get Ultraviolence, and then it just like
Yes.
barely went to the next one.
Yeah.
But
So we'll get there eventually, but my position on Lana Del Rey stands still.
well, NFR is one of our heavily weighted
It
ones,
is.
so there's a bigger chance of that one getting now.
Yes.
So
New Shoo Shoo record coming out in March. Probably will listen to that at this point, just because of the seems to be the lack of music coming out so far. I feel like last year was every big artist because COVID was over, so I'm interested to see how this year's going to work out. But I think we will get Travis Scott for sure this year still as a big name artist. Apparently Miley Cyrus is releasing an album too. So
yeah, I saw Lil Nas X posted something about it.
yeah. I don't know what it's going to be. Don't really care. Gex in March. Excited for that. I need some Gex. We also have the Caroline Polachek album coming out in February, which we have gotten a request for early. So
This is true.
might check that one out. So I think that's it when it comes to news on things. So there will be stuff coming. It's just going to be a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I've been kind of starting my metal deep dive. Not deep dive, it's very surface level right now. I'm just trying to get a feel for things because metal is maybe the hardest genre to enter into. Just because, like, any way you could describe metal music is a different genre. So it's kind of confusing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out the difference between death metal and black metal, and like all these different weird types of it. So I'm trying to get introductory songs done. I've done a couple albums, but I'm still like getting into it. I did go back and listen to a couple Metallica records because I've listened to Metallica since I was like 11. But boy, howdy, do they hold up. I think Master of Puppets is still just like a masterpiece, probably like the best metal album I've heard with my very limited knowledge. But Master of Puppets is an album I think anybody could put on and like. It's very, very accessible despite being like still insanely good. Yeah, that thing is just crazy good. I had to go back and listen to it just to make sure. I'm like, okay, I know I like thrash metal, but let me see how banging this is, and it still holds up. I also revisited Megadeth's, what is it? Rest in Peace. Also incredibly good. Loved this one as a teenager too, and it still holds up. So I know I like thrash metal, I mean, that King Gizzard metal album also was fantastic. So I already knew that. There's not really a lot of places to go when it's thrash metal. It's kind of the same big four bands that everybody talks about. But I did listen to my first Slipknot full album. My girlfriend and her sister are helping me because they are both into metal. So I go there for pointers because it's so hard to get into this stupid genre. So I listened to All Hope Is Gone by Slipknot. Pretty decent. This was in 2008, so this is past their new metal days when new metal was, I think, dead at this point.
Yeah.
But pretty decent.
very good.
I have an issue. I think this technically is like alternative metal, like metalcore. I have an issue with a lot of metalcore bands where it's like super kind of edgy melodic vocals, and then the choruses are like screamo vocals, which I can't get into. So, but when it comes to metalcore or whatever you want to call this, I feel like Slipknot's kind of my band. I feel like the vocals from Corey Taylor are fitting, like they fit the tracks very well.
Yeah.
The instrumentation's fantastic, so that stuff's pretty good. I did like Slipknot songs when I was younger. I always associated it with like the people I used to know and like what they listened to, so I never really like strayed into it much. But it's pretty decent. So Slipknot, pretty decent. I'm also trying to get into. I listened to a couple of Death Heaven songs from their 2021 album. That sounds absolutely fantastic. It is a little bit less metal and a little bit more like dream pop, but I'm definitely okay with that. Definitely what I'm looking for when it comes to like. I like heavy mixes. When it comes to death metal, I tried a couple of death metal things. I'm like not ready for that yet. I can't get over just like people trying to sound like demons on songs when the tracks are already like ferocious enough. I feel like it muddies everything. It's like everybody's trying too hard, but sometimes it goes hard. There's a couple of drone metal albums I've been into. I think Earth 2 is the main drone metal album I was introduced to. That's like an hour and 20. Nothing happens really. It's just very down-tuned guitars, creating like an atmosphere for an hour 15. That's literally all it is. But it is great. It's great background music. If you want some like ambient kind of background music, but you want to be dark and edgy, there you go. If you ever wanted to do that. But yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to keep digging. I feel like I'm back into looking at new music things instead of just our show. Definitely took a break and like just was listening to what I had in my library from the end of the year because I always miss stuff and like want to go back and re-listen to stuff. So I feel like I'm ready now to, especially since music is slow this year, to start going forward again. Just looking at new genres. So I don't think that this year will turn me into a metalhead, but I want to at least get a couple albums that I like from each genre. I need to give it a thorough like try, because I feel like I've never tried to dig into it, just because of how intimidating it is usually. But we'll get there. Other than that, I think that's it. Yeah, very slow, but it should be picking up soon. There will be a Boy Genius reaction whenever that comes out. You best believe that.
Oh, absolutely. Very excited. Lucy Dacus is my favorite.
New Phoebe music is just all I need. So Phoebe and Lucy are on their primes right now. So
It's true.
this is going to be kind of insane. We haven't heard from Julian Baker since 2021 too. So, I mean, I'm excited. I think it's going to turn out great.
Yeah. If Boy Genius and Frank Ocean both drop this year, it's going to be crazy.
Yes. Which, I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up, but I feel like Frank Ocean kind of has to this year. Like, you can only dodge so many festivals and put little notes in your, like, merchandise that are saying, like, he was working on singles, but then he scrapped that to work on more long-form projects. I think that's what the note said. So it's like, okay, you're kind of in it now. You need to, like, do something.
Well, I mean, and he's headlining Coachella. Not that he
Yes.
probably couldn't have done that without a new
Yeah.
album, but, like, he's like...
Well, it's the same thing Kendrick did, where it's like Kendrick was set to do festivals in, like, as early 2021. And they kept getting either canceled or pushed back. So then he, like, started changing things and everything. So he could only avoid headlining for so long.
True.
Especially when he's like, yes, I will headline your festival. Like, okay,
Wow.
you gonna do old songs? It's not
Yeah.
gonna sell as many tickets. Well, it will because it's Frank Ocean. But
Well,
like,
yeah. Seeing Frank Ocean live would be a dream.
oh yeah, absolutely. I don't want to see him at Coachella though.
No, no,
I don't want to see anybody at Coachella.
no. No way.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Well, is that it for podcast?
I think they.
Is
Wow.
it?
I think that might be it for podcast.
What?
I think the takeaways are listen to Slipknot, watch Puss in Boots, and watch The Last of Us.
Nice.
Those are the takeaways from this week's episode. We're watching
Yay.
good things. Okay, yeah, I guess
Good
that's